It says, I began working with a company in 2024, and while I was in school, in February 2025, they asked me to obtain my EAD, that's Employment Authorization Document, to be considered for a permanent role, which I applied for and was approved. However, in May 2025, just as I was about to graduate to start a full-time offer, they started delaying the process. Eventually, I was scheduled for an HR interview where I was informed that they would not be continuing with me. I was shocked and asked for an explanation, but I did not receive a clear answer. I was devastated, especially since my mother was already on her way to the United States for my graduation. Many thoughts flooded my mind on how I would pay my bills. My EAD card at the time started counting from May 19th. And if I did not secure a job within 90 days, I would have to leave the United States of America or find another program to start earlier. I asked the HR lady how I could secure a job in such a short time frame, but she said that was all she could offer. I felt hopeless, but I shared my struggles with my wife, and she asked me, was it your doing that got you to the US, or was it God's plan? Where is your faith? The God who has brought you this far will perfect everything. My faith was renewed, and I started following Apostle Joshua Selman's teachings more closely, praying every night and worshiping online every Sunday. During a June Koinonia service, Apostle said that God spoke to him and asked people to sow seeds. He emphasized that it was not mandatory, but that God would reveal himself. I decided to sow the last 50,000 naira in my account, in my Naira account. As I prepared to do so, the devil tried to tempt me, questioning what I would have left after sowing that amount. But I rebuked him immediately. And after this step of faith, I went through a series of interviews, each with multiple stages, something anyone familiar with the US job interviews can tell you how competitive and rigorous the stages are. At the end of the process, I found myself confused about which offer to accept, as there were lots of offers. Hallelujah. The salary from the role I ultimately chose is over 100% increase than my previous job. Is someone celebrating Jesus? Continues to say, I am grateful for all my siblings who supported me with rent, prayer, and encouragement through the trial season. May God bless them all. Summarily, I will say that there is indeed God in Koinonia. May God continue to use Apostle Selman to strengthen our faith. Can we join Apegwe to celebrate the faithfulness of God? Hallelujah. Can you turn to your neighbor and say, it will turn to you for a testimony? Hallelujah.